crowd.
Big crowd. All right, we will just go ahead and open it up for questions for Coach Kelsey. We've got mics around the room. If you need help passing them amongst each other, let us know. We'll go ahead and start off with Brooks.
Hey Pat, just wanted to ask about Isaac and how he's been adjusting to a faster tempo here, coming from Virginia, and then like aside from the shooting, what kind of sets him apart? Do you like to call, or you don't like to call players suburban jump shooters, but like what ways does Isaac's game kind of push him past that stereotype?
He does not belong in that stereotype in any way, shape, or form. He's a baller. He's a player. He's an all-around player. Good passer, good playmaker, extremely athletic. I hate when people say sneaky athletic or no, he's athletic. I mean, he'll go up and like windmill on you, man. How he likes playing the system was the other question. You'd have to ask him, but he looks like he's having a ball out there, hooping.
I guess just to follow up on that. I mean, did you talk much with Coach Sanchez? Obviously, you said he was really close with you going back to your days of other stops. Did you talk to him much about as you're kind of targeting Isaac to try and bring him in, just kind of like what the qualities he has as a leader?
Yeah, we do our homework like crazy. Transfer portal's different now because the time period's really small, but we don't skip steps in our due diligence. There's a science behind what we do, who we go after, and we do our homework. So Ron's a guy I've known for a long time. I wouldn't say we're, super tight good friends or something, but we've been very good coaching acquaintances for a long time because I've picked his brain on the defensive side because he was with Coach Bennett for so long. And yeah, obviously, and I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, but everybody you talk to, and he's been as advertised, comes out of their shoes, if you will, in how they spoke of his character, his work ethic, his approach, his team first mentality. Isaac's a stud.
Can I get that? Yeah, thank you, Bob. Pat, the difference between working with Chucky last year, the veteran point guard, been through the fire, opposed to now Michael, freshman, but super talented.
The difference, they're different human beings, right? Every point guard that you coach and every person you coach is different. They have different buttons. They have different things that motivate them, different things that, pull them back. So, the differences would be Chucky was a few years older, obviously, and had played a lot more games. But, I mean, Michael was so seasoned. You look, for instance, on a really, really big stage in the or this past year, the World Championships, and he was the best darn player in the tournament with the other best players in the world at his age. So Chucky was a big moments, big lights, big stage, once the moment guy, and Michael's the exact same way. Like I said, the biggest difference is Chucky was just older and had a few more games under his belt.
Coach, it's obvious that you're what's the next right thing guy. What are we going to do right now? So I'm asking you about the Kansas game, which is not the typical exhibition game from the past, and how much it will be, okay, it's really important to win this game now, or will you look at it more as an exhibition game and work with lineups and see what might work in the future?
A lot of everything, like when you talk about looking at lineups, and I mean, look, we haven't played against anybody but ourselves since June 5th. Now, we brought some of the older guys in for a little bit. We brought Chucky and Russ and Jordan Nwora and those guys a couple times, or one time, and we scrimmaged against them, which was actually a lot of fun. But we had been practicing for a month and a half, and we had sets in, and we had defensive rotations. These guys had never played against each other, so it wasn't fair to those guys in a lot of ways. But it's the first time we get to suit up against somebody else, and it's a real early part of the season. A lot of times these exhibitions, back in the day, last year we played for season ticket standpoint. We had that many games, scheduled to play home games at the Yum Center, so we ended up playing non-Division ones. And, those don't truly get you ready for the start of the season. I think this exhibition, obviously, against a really, really good team and a well-coached team in Kansas is going to prepare us even more. But in the past, you did these behind the scenes. You did it behind closed doors. You hadn't played against anybody in 4 or 5 or 6 months, and you could just go in there and say, hey, coach, let's do 10 half-court sets for you, 10 half-court sets for us. All right, let's do a baseline out-of-bounds segment. All right, let's clear the clock, and now this time let's play both teams in the bonus. You do all these situations things. In something like this, you're not able to do it. I mean, obviously, Coach Self and I could talk and say, we could do the scrimmage however the heck we want it, because we're not subject to any type of rules. We could do 24-second shot clock if we want it. We could do whatever we wanted. I haven't heard from him, and I haven't reached out to him, so I'm just assuming it's a game and the balls are going to go up and we're just going to stink and hoop. I'm sure he is at the infancy stages. I can't speak for him, of his team and where they're going and how they're growing. I'm sure he's still working on lineups, and he's still working on rotations, and he's still working on divvying up minutes, and he's interested to see what his guys do when the lights come on in the moments. And I'm interested in the same thing. So it is going to be a learning experience about our team. And for every team, the early part of the season is just that. But, I mean, if Johnny came down the steps and he's like, hey, Dad, let's play checkers, like, I'm trying to beat that sucker. I mean, that's just, I can't help it, you know? So I always want to win, but, you know, it's not like we're pulling out every single stop to win the game at the expense of getting this guy some minutes and this guy some minutes. I'm sure their rotation, again, you'd have to talk to Coach Self, will be a lot longer early part of the season, especially in exhibitions, than it will be once they get into the guts of the season. And we'll be the exact same way. I'm just interested for those lights to come on for the first time and see how our guys react. To see a packed Yum Center for an exhibition in October. I mean, that's sick, man. That is cool. That is what college basketball is all about. That gets me fired up. So long-winded answer to say, we're going to try some stuff. We're going to work on some different things. We're going to play a lot of guys, but I'm sure they want to win the game. We want to win the game. There's 22,000 people that are going to be there that sure want us to win the game too.
Tony?
Coach, last year we were here and you were talking about the theme being revived.
Yeah.
As though it were a patient on life support that needs resuscitation. But can you describe the state of the program right now and where you think
I thought you were going, like, what's your tagline? Because I'm a big tagline guy.
But what
You know,
heard different,
Eric knows, like, he knows that I like to, you know, sell umbrellas to people in the Sahara, and I like energy, and I that's who I am, right? And he loves that about me. But in terms of the marketing part, I never came up with a word. And I just don't think at Louisville you need a word every year. You don't need a big marketing slogan to get the people in this town excited. Like, there is no apathy. There never has, never it will be. So the next thing is all we say to our guys every day. And but going back to your question, when you say the revival and what's the identity of this team, it's just to be, you know, be a great Louisville Cardinal team. That's our aspirations. So I don't really have a slogan.
Michael?
Often guys can make a big leap from year one to year two, so I'm curious what Kenai Ruth has been progressing since his freshman year when we showed quite a bit as well.
Yeah, Kenai's really grown as a player. I thought he had a very good freshman year where he was thrust into a role that maybe, you know, we didn't anticipate him having with a lot of the depth and experience we had, and then we had injuries. Because that's the thing about depth. Everybody talks about the depth we have. Like, you're always a couple days or a couple things happen from, like, heck, you don't have depth anymore. Like, people talk about starting pitching in baseball, and they say, when you think you have enough starting pitching, go get 2 more starting pitchers, you know? So he was thrust into that role, and I thought he did a great job. Really grew, he had an unbelievable offseason. He's a very conscientious kid. He wants coaching. He wants to improve. You know, loves to watch film, and he's remarkably talented. Great athleticism, great personality, talented. So my expectations for how he continues to grow is sky high.
Brandon?
When you talk about your or non-conference schedule being gauntlet, does that affect how you're kind of taking Kason Pryor's, like, and scaling him up to get ready for the season? Because there is no really easy game to kind of throw him in there.
So with Kason, he's just coming along, right? He's hit every benchmark that he needed to hit in terms of his recovery. All the medical people have been thrilled. We've been thrilled with his approach. He's getting closer and closer. And then, as you know, once you hit that point where it's like, okay, now you're medically cleared. I've never had an ACL or a major injury like that. Then it's about gaining that confidence in it again. It's getting rid of that hesitancy. And then it's getting back in rhythm from a basketball standpoint, you know. And the last thing we want to do is put him in a position where, obviously, put his health at risk, which we sure as heck aren't going to do. But then we also want to put him in the best position to bring him back and put him back in the game and let him go, unleash him, if you will, when he's truly ready from a basketball standpoint as well. I don't have an exact timeline on that. I didn't look at a certain game and say he's going to be back by this and get ready for this. He's getting ready by playing against a very, very competitive team with really good players every single day.
You have guys coming back, you have newcomers, you're asked about a lot of them. One guy that you're not asked about a lot, but I think he could be key for you is Kobe. What does he bring? I mean, you've been through the wars with him before.
Yeah.
What does he bring?
Jeez, where do you start? I mean, you know, he's one of the guys I brought with us from Charleston for a reason, because I believe in him, and he's a really good player. His last game at Charleston, we're playing the NCAA tournament against Alabama, and he tore his ACL. And I still said, I got to have you, you know. And you saw the effect he had. You saw it. But from the sideline, what he did in games, what he did behind the scenes in the locker room, his leadership, his belief and buy-in to what we do is invaluable. But as a player, I mean, he's a defensive menace. He has great anticipation, quick burst. I don't know if you guys know, he played his first 2 years at Nova Southeastern, which was dominated Division II for a long time and kind of still are. They won the national championship by like 1 million points. They went 36-0. And, you know, Kobe's a winner. He's won everywhere he's been. He won with us at Charleston. He's a winner off the court. He's a winner on the court. He's a winning piece.
Eric?
From a practice standpoint, you know, when you're adding 3 or 4 new players, it was most of our college basketball lives you could prepare for season 1. Do you find yourself more 5-on-5, full court scrimmaging, just to get a feel for who can play together, scout team, anything different along those lines, just to figure out who's good on the court together?
Yeah. So we've been together for a long time. Like June 5th to now is a long time. Those summer months, because you get practice hours in the summer as well. You know, for the first couple months, I mean, we were doing our system and implementing our technique and those type things, but just the things you're talking about is what we did a lot in the summer, right? We played, we got up and down, and we did it with structure. We did it within our system. It wasn't just open gym. Now they play open gym on their own, but the times that we're in the gym, we just did a lot of that. To go along with that, and I agree, you know, what you said, we've continued to do a little bit. I would say the last couple years since the transfer portal and bringing more guys in, we've probably played more 5-on-5. In fact, I would say definitely we've played more 5-on-5 than we ever have in the past. And if you talk to a lot of coaches around the country, that's kind of the sentiment, right? When I'm talking to other guys in a row, we're like, man, we letting our guys play, getting them used to each other and developing that chemistry. Yeah.
Question?
Coach, just kind of piggybacking off that a little bit, what have you learned from this group, or have they taught you anything so far in the time that you guys had together this offseason?
What have they taught me and what have I learned from them? They teach me stuff every day because they live the right way. They work the right way. They got the right mindset. You know, they're guys I want my son to learn from. I know Eric doesn't like to talk about all that like flowery stuff, but like that crap matters, man. You know, that's what I learned from them. That they're awesome dudes that are bought into each other and that are about excellence because we identify that, right? For us, everything's about win probability. Win probability. Like when we are identifying and constructing our roster and our team, it's about what affects winning, right? Not about winning the press conference, it's about winning games. You know, sometimes people want you to win the social media of the day, whether it's in recruiting or whatever. That it's like, I'm a Moneyball guy. That's my favorite book in the world. I watched the movie one time. It doesn't hold a candle, although Brad Pitt, pretty good actor. Moneyball. Like, the main line in that book is buying wins. Not the hype, not the stars guy or the rent guy. What impacts winning? And we got a room full of guys that impact winning by how they handle their business off the court, how they coexist and interact, and the chemistry they have together, and then the things they bring to the table from a basketball standpoint that fit us, that fit our system, and that, apply to winning.
Yeah, Spencer.
Pat, how do you anticipate Ali changing your offense when he's in the game?
A lot. He's I call him a space alien. That's kind of who he is as a player. He's a very, very unique player. There was an assistant at BYU he's out of coaching right now. He's doing other stuff, and he walked in and he didn't recognize Ali, first of all, because he's lost 60, 70 pounds, whatever the heck it is. He goes, "Man, you look like a wing, 7-foot wing." He's done an unbelievable job getting in great shape, but there aren't many 7-footers in the world that have that one elite skill that he has, his ability to pass the ball. He's a facilitator and a pseudo point guard at 7 feet. We all have weaknesses. Players have weaknesses. He has them. But my goodness, that strength is special. I liken it as like, the manager comes out and calls the lefty out of the bullpen. Some flamethrower comes in with the music playing and coming in and just affect the game. That's what I think Ali does. So when I put him in the game, you guys are going to see me. Although he's a right-hander, so I got to call for the right-hander.
Coach, going from year one where you get the job, you have to hit the ground running, hiring staff, to having a full year, full off-season, being able to recruit, implement everything with the full off-season, how much different is it for you?
I've said this before. The biggest difference this year is my life. Last year when it was all happening, got the job here, putting the team together, it's that season of life in a coach's life when you make a move and you change and all the things that go along with that. Now we are firmly implanted in this great city. My kids are happy in their schools. My wife's happy. She's got her grocery store. She loves her neighbors. When that's good, everything's good. So it's been a little bit easier from that standpoint that I just, it was a whirlwind until that buzzer sounded at the end of last year. And it's not the case anymore. I'm home.
Pat, a lot's been speculated about what this team can accomplish on the offensive end of the court, but based on what you've seen so far, what do you think is or what could be this team's defensive identity?
Yeah, that's all our focus. Not all our focus. There's two ends of the court. You play offense, you play defense, and, the nuances of our offensive system and our adherence to that, our ability to play connected, play together, move the ball, move people, attack, be efficient in our pick and roll and our actions, hunt great, attack at second ones, we work on that. We work on that constantly. But you ask the guys what's important to Coach Kelsey, what's going to be the key to us being the best possible team that this team can be. It's us on the defensive end. That's where our focus is, and I think we got a chance to be a very, very, very good defense. We've got a very good chance to be a very, very good offense and a very, very good team. Adherence to our system, activity, effort, want to buy in, connectivity. Defense is an attitude. Your scheme matters, but we say culture eats strategy for lunch. I don't know, Eric doesn't like when I talk about culture, but culture eats strategy for lunch. So it's the system, but it's also the buy-in, the want to, and the power of the unit.
Tony.
Coach, last time we were in here, you talked about you can't sharpen your teeth eating oatmeal. But can you speak to the coaches that you will be going up against this season and how sharp you think your teeth will be?
I have amazing respect for every head coach of every team we play this year because it's hard to become a Division I coach. I don't care if it's our first game against South Carolina State or it's Duke at Duke. Those guys get there for a reason. You talk about the non-conference slate with Hall of Fame caliber coaches and, playing a Hall of Fame coach in an exhibit. I get it. I'm at Louisville. That's who you're going up against. It's what you signed up for. So those are all coming down the road. I know it's the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Spurs, and then Kansas, Kentucky, and like that. I got all that. This team will be ready.
Okay, Taylor?
You mentioned the schedule in Kansas, the first exhibition game. Why Buck now? How did that happen to become the second exhibition?
I don't know.
Tie there? There's not a link or anything? No?
You know, like I got a great staff that works their butt off on scheduling, and they put it together. I'm in all the meetings. They brief me. How about this? How about this? Sure. I got a ton of respect for their program, and you know, it'll be fun.
Okay, Spencer?
That's not the next one, though.
Pat, we often hear you say things like the next thing you guys do is the most important thing in the history of the program. Oftentimes last year we heard your players utter the same thing. When do you know that a team isn't just saying it, but they are actually living that philosophy?
It better. That's the secret sauce. That's it. That's the culture, and that eats strategy for lunch. If there's not buy-in, if there's not belief in our process, and not adherence to it, focus on it, being consumed with it, doesn't matter what your pick and roll coverage is. It's excellence in the process. That's what the next thing is.
Do you think that this group has already bought in?
Every day. But like, you got coach culture constantly. We say we want the number one culture in the country. That's a minute by minute, drill by drill, repetition by repetition thing. Can't be. I know you hate this, but like, we can't. It's not outcomes. It's not what we concentrate on. We concentrate on what's going on right now. And when we do that, and the lights come on against, you know, Kansas on the 24th, hopefully we can trust our training, and the outcome will take care of itself, and we'll have a chance to win the game.
Brooks?
Yeah, you already kind of talked about you know, the skill set that Ali brings to the table. I'm wondering if you could speak to the other bigs and just, you know, how they have, you know, like what they can do it differently, and how can you kind of use everyone's different set of skills kind of.
Yeah. They're a fun group, and they take pride. They love the little, you know, the Three Musketeers is a bad thing to say. I don't know what it is, but they're the bigs group, and they're all from different countries. They all have different accents. They all have different sizes, and they all have different strengths, and they all play off each other, and they support each other and build each other up, and they understand the sum of all those parts is one of the best front courts in the country, in my opinion. Sananda, we talked about Ali. Obviously, you know his ability to pass and connect and throw people open and play make with his passing. Sananda is an underrated passer. I don't think people talk about his skill level enough. You know, they talk about his 6'10", 260, strong, physical. The cat's got great hands. He's very good putting the ball on the floor and attacking the basket. Terrific finisher, good passer, really good defender. Big, strong, physical dude, can run. And then Zoo, gosh, man, he's another kind of a space alien. Like, one of the best screeners. I'm trying to think, going back, have I coached many better screeners than that guy? Like, I say he gets up in the morning, like when he was at home, and he like walks into the kitchen and just tries to set a slobber screen on his mother, and then he's gonna flare his sister, and then it like that dude like is a physical cat that plays with an unbelievably high motor. Got a great way about him, passionate. I think that's one of the things the Yum Center is gonna love about him, man. Like, he'll get an and one, and it will be I don't know, they'll name it. You guys will name it, some sort of primal scream that he does. And you've seen on some of the social media the one time where his face is bleeding and he's yelling. That is Zoo. He injects courage into his teammates because of the ferocity with which he plays with. Love them all. And as Josh said yesterday at the event, I love everybody, but that's what I do.
Fox? one? Sure, yeah, that's it, yeah, last one.
Take us home, Preston.
Take us home.
Better be good.
I mean, I'm okay, like, they came all the way here,
No,
I'm okay with a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Coach, I know you probably asked this in the past before, but just Javon Hadley, starting that games for you last year, just
Winner.
coming back.
Javon Hadley, winner. He's usually in practice on the team that's winning. All the stuff I said about Javon, you guys have heard. He's mature. He's accountable. He's tough. He's that swing guy that's like, that guard forward mismatch. As you guys all know, like he can really punish smaller guys if they decide to put a smaller guy on him. We put him in situations where you got to make tough decisions on whether you're going to switch, whether you're going to not. Sound passer, doesn't turn the ball over. I love coaching Javon Hadley. Leader, emotional. He's a lot like his head coach. He can get over emotional at times, but we all have flaws.
Anything else for Coach?
You sure? Like they all came, and I know it's a big crowd. I don't want
Tony.
to mess your thing up, but
Gotta ask
Paul
you
laughs
about,
at he laughs at me all the time.
Of course, over the summer, there was something made about the recruiting trip that you and Mark Pope ended up on together.
What took this question so long? What the crap are you guys doing?
Pope just,
What's that?
They asked Pope about it, he said, I wish there was a story.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to
That's
make
right.
up a story that, but could you talk about how, I guess, recruiting has gotten competitive? or
It's
has-
gotten competitive? When it hasn't been competitive?
Can you speak to that situation?
I'm a competitor. Every coach, there's competitor. Mark's a competitor. It's the way it goes. I think he said it. Somebody sent me the interview, and he said, like, it's what it's all about, right? He's competitive. I'm competitive. I've said this too, and Louisville fans don't like when I compliment him, but, like, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's about the right things. A really good coach. That sucker wants to win in recruiting. So do I. He wants to win on the floor. So do I. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. People know I'm a little bit of a bulldog. I'm going to fight every once in a while. Not that there was one. But, like, at Charleston, Towson was really good for a couple years. We were really good. And Pat Scary's a fiery dude. I'm a fiery dude. It went down a little bit with Pat. Pat walked in here, I'd hug his neck. It's my guy. What's up, Patty? Mike Jones, Bradford. You might be saying, man, you're talking about mid-Majorville. It's freaking battles down there, man. We're fighting for our life every single day. We don't get automatic bids. Everything's on the line all the time. Conference tournament. Doesn't matter if you went 23-1. Win the 3 games. Mike Jones, hell of a coach now. UNC Greensboro. It went down with Mike and I. I'd hug his neck if he walked in there. Now, if he wasn't about the right things, you're going to question my integrity. You're going to, I have a problem with you. Mark and I are good. But that rivalry's nasty. It's what makes it great.
CD.
Coach, your take on Mo Kamara so far?
Yeah, Mo's huge upside. He has a really, really high ceiling. Gifted athletically beyond belief, crazy length, great anticipation. His defense is like at this level. His offense is catching up, improving his skill level and his shooting and his playmaking and stuff like that. But, like, man, he looks like he was, from a basketball player, he's touched by God. I mean, he looks like an elite player with a lot of potential. He's got a great attitude and he's working really hard. Like, he'll go like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we shouldn't ask this.
Yeah, Eric and Peyton.
But I'll ask. I hate to look back, but I'm always interested in hearing these. After last season, the NCAA tournament game's over, you obviously have to deal with those players and make sure you're there for them. How quick, in your mind, did it turn to this, to the next thing for this season? How fast was that?
In today's day and age, you know me, I'm a next thing guy, but I mean, the carnage of a locker room. Come on now, like that's you're saying goodbye. Your because it ends like that. You don't think it's going to end, and then it ends. And you've just been in an emotional roller coaster with the group on a journey for so long. So that's different, right? But you better flip the switch really quickly, because the way recruiting works now, the way the transfer portal now, it's all about building your roster, evaluating, roster management immediately. So turns pretty quick. It's not like how it used to be 15, 20 years ago where, man, you could enjoy the offseason. You got your whole team signed. If you were still looking for a bunch of dudes in the spring, you were in trouble. Well, that's how it is all the time now.
Peyton.
Coach, just so you know, Coach, or Eric is always talking culture in our office.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Really good, really good writer, by the way.
I wanted to go back a little bit to the recruiting story. You talked about just the rivalry in general being nasty and having its own kind of history, I guess. Even though there's not much, I guess, to the story of that story, does the marketer in you or the motivator in you kind of recognize that being like the first installment of like years and Coach Pope's new like era of the rivalry, like the mythology to it and all the storied coaches who have been part of it, from Coach Hall and Coach Crum to Coach Patino and Coach Cal? Like, do you think about that at all?
Good question, but no. I mean, I've told you guys many times I pinch myself when I'm looking at pictures of Coach Crum or Coach Patino or national championships and just remembering what it was like in Cincinnati when Louisville in the 80s was Louisville in the 80s and winning national championships. So yes, I always have those moments of, man, I'm the head coach of Louisville. You guys are probably sick of hearing that, but I do that sometimes. But in terms of that, not so much. But it is. It's one of the best rivalries in college sports, in my opinion, the best. When I say it's nasty, it is a little nasty, but it's what makes it good. It's what makes it good. I try my darndest to have our guys ignore social media, but kids aren't doing it anymore. I try my darndest to have my daughters ignore social media. They ain't doing that. But it's just preparing them for where we're at, the arena we're in, you know? And, you know, if we win that game, they're going to, you know, pick me up on their shoulders in a red carpet, fly me around the city. If you lose the game, like, I'm locking the freaking doors at home, I can tell you that. But it's the way it goes, man. It's what you signed up for. It's great. It's what makes the rivalry, what makes college basketball awesome. There's nothing like it.
Anything else for Coach Kelsey? All right, thank you all. We'll come back and get you in a